Greetings, lovely people. Sandeep Gupta here, connecting on a Saturday afternoon. And I wanted to start with a quote, which is by Anita Moorjani, who is a very inspirational speaker. And her quote is, "Unless I love myself, nothing else in my life can function at its best." And that's really the theme of what I wanted to cover today and to tap into, is this idea of why is self-love so important on the healing journey. And we're going to be discussing this particular topic further in 2 weeks' time on Friday, 24th May, with Luke and Rachel Bourne. And I'm going to talk more about that event towards the end. But yeah, if you can only join this video briefly, please go and check out the event link below. And if you're on the local to the Sunshine Coast or Brisbane, see if you can come along, because it's going to be a great night. So back to the main theme here on self-love and the healing journey. I consider that self-love is actually at the center of any holistic medicine approach. Now, why do I say that? Well, the reason is that actually doing all the different facets of a holistic medicine program really equates to self-love in a very strong sort of way. So, for instance, taking the time to get your diet right, to go for dietary excellence, doing the oral and or injectable nutrient supplements, or whether that be herbal medicine, or compounded medications, or whatever that might be. That also takes time, and it takes a certain amount of self-love to want to give that time to yourself. Detoxification, again, is an act of self-love, because you're giving your body what it needs to be able to clear out any compounds that are not serving it well. And then looking after your home environment and work environment, of course, is another act of self-love. And then also, and perhaps most importantly, emotional emotional healing and mindset is also extremely important. So each of those is really an example of giving self-love to yourself. Now, if you don't have self-love, so for instance, there's a major area in which you feel like you can't love yourself, and this is often something that comes up in our consultations. We get people through various techniques of energy medicine, we test people on the idea that I can love myself and I can be loved, and I'm totally ready to heal, and I can be outrageously healthy. Now, the reason for that is if you don't believe those things currently, then there is a block there, and often that block will result in the person sabotaging their holistic healing program. So self-love is at the key. Unless that's there, you possibly may struggle to sustain a holistic healing journey. So one example I want to talk about, and the quote I gave from Anita Moorjani, her case is very, very interesting. And if you can get hold of her book, it's called Dying to Be Me. It's actually extremely profound. And one of the things she talks about in her book is how, with a stage 4 cancer diagnosis, how she made a shift to from always thinking that she had to do something to be worthy. She had to perform in a certain way to be worthy as a human being, to totally embodying the fact that she's actually loved in each moment, and that she didn't actually need to do anything to earn that love. Rather, that love is inherent. And as a result of this, and this is actually medically documented, it's not just a wild story, basically she totally was able to reverse her cancer at that moment, after making that shift, to realizing that she's totally, that I am totally worthy, of being loved without doing anything. So that story and that case kind of, it it does strongly point to the idea that self-love is perhaps far more powerful than we had ever given it credit for. If someone can have such a miraculous recovery like that, well, what could it do for other people? Now, one author, Teal Swan, has an exercise, and I think it's 21-day exercise, where she gets people to just ask themselves over and over, what would a person who loves themselves do when going through any type of decisions, or any type of thought process about deciding what you should do. Just asking yourself that, what would a person who loves themselves do? So I challenge you guys to do that one, to try that for 3 weeks, and see what sort of benefit you get from that. And then lastly, I wanted to talk a little bit more about Luke and Rachel, and I do think that this event is going to be very profound. And so I've now been working with Luke Bourne for 9 years, since he was diagnosed with quite a rare type of cancer, and he's given me permission to talk about his case, just to be clear. And to start with, he wasn't given a terribly good prognosis. However, early on in the journey, he basically showed up in a way that not many people have. And so to some of the sessions we worked on together, really he was willing to just give 100%. And so there were many blocks around self-love for him and being loved. And, as most of us have from our family of origin, we may have been given messages at times that we're not totally worthy of love, or we're only worthy of love when we act the right way, etc. And so Luke actually underwent a process of reversing all of that, of letting go of a lot of these narratives that he had gained through childhood and his family of origin, and really moved himself towards a state of self-love being at the center. And then in addition to that, he certainly did a lot of different integrative protocols, which have included, IV nutrients, hypothermia, hyperbaric oxygen, and a range of other things. And most recently, he actually had a bleed into his brain just literally 2 weeks ago, and things were looking extremely critical. But what happened was, and I think you can basically put his commitment to the healing journey and self-love into the picture here in a big way, is that his recovery was far, far greater than was expected. And gratitude to the neurosurgeon at Royal Brisbane Hospital, who was willing to take the plunge and to operate on him, even in what would be considered quite a difficult situation, with a large deposit of cancer in the brain and a surrounding bleed. But after having been given that chance by the surgeon, Luke just, his recovery has been amazing and fantastic, to the stage where, he will be coming to this talk on the 24th and sharing all of it, while, a couple of weeks ago it was kind of looking like doubtful whether he would be able to be functional in any way. So look, I do think Luke's story is extremely inspiring, and Rachel has been part of his journey at every moment, and together it's been an amazing journey of transformation. So if you're around the Brisbane or Sunshine Coast area, and you yourself are interested in understanding self-love, understanding the healing journey more, consider coming along to this I Matter event. It's going to be a few hours of deep sharing. I think there's going to be info there that you're not going to get anywhere else, and it's going to be extremely practical, and there's going to be things that you can put in practice straight away to enhance your life. So I guess I'll finish this video with a little question to you guys, and that question is, what does self-love mean to you, and how do you cultivate that in your daily life? So I'll look forward to keeping the conversation going below in the comments, and look forward to seeing some of you in 2 weeks' time at the I Matter event. Bye for now, guys.